It is so nice to be out here cleaning windows in the bush. Just have a look at all the trees behind me. They go on forever. But I better focus on what's in front of me. Now I hope that even with the reflection of the tree in the window, you'll be able to see the difference that I make to it. It's been a few years since this has been cleaned, so it's very dirty. So I'm going to use every tool I've got in order to get it clean. I'll start by getting the cobwebs off the edges. Good to use a wet towel for this purpose. Now sometimes if windows aren't too dirty, all you need to do is scrub it with your washer and then squeegee to get the water off. But this window is so dirty, I'm going to use two extra tools. The two extra tools are both steel tools, tools made of steel. I'll show you in a moment. I'll just start by scrubbing the window. Now that's all nice and wet now, but it's still very dirty. So the first tool I'm going to use, or the first additional tool, is the scraper. I'll pull it apart so you can at least see the pieces. You have your steel blade, very sharp steel blade. You have your blade slide, so the blade sits on the blade slide. Then you slide it into the, I suppose, the main body of the scraper. The cap certainly protects you because I keep it in my holster, and without the cap I'd be cutting myself every time I reach for it, and I've certainly done that. So what I'm going to do is scrape this window. Now, a word of caution: when scraping any window, notice how it feels, meaning if it feels smooth, if the scraper is gliding across smoothly like ice skates on an ice skating rink, then you're fine. If it feels rough, if it feels like you're scraping and you can hear like this scraping sound, don't use it because you're probably going to put scratches on the window. Not a very good idea. So, but these windows so far have been, I have been scraping some more windows here and they've been fine. So I'm assuming this one will be fine too. But sometimes they do vary. Even one window and another next to it can vary in that regard. But I'll scrape it now. That's going to make the next step a lot easier. Scraping is very good when there's a lot of bits on the windows, and there's a lot of bits that get on windows. In this case, I think mostly from insects, flies putting their droppings on the window. You also get plants, bits from plants like pollen. If someone's mowing a lawn near a window, the little bits of grass that can actually stick very, very hard to windows. So you might get a tradesman who's painting and the paint overspray gets on the windows. So there's lots of bits that can get on windows, and the scraper is the way to remove the bits. Now the steel wool, this is fine grade steel wool. This is the next piece of tool that is made of steel. This is the main, really the main window cleaning tool in my opinion. And I just you buy it in rolls. You can buy it in rolls, and you just get yourself a decent sized piece, roll it up, and then you've got a nice, fits in the hand quite well. And you just scrub with this, and this is excellent for getting windows clean, getting all the stains off, hard water stains. You can use this to get bits off too, but it's a lot of scrubbing, so that's why the scraper can really cut down on how hard you have to work with the steel wool. But the next step, I'll re-wet the window, it's good to keep it wet, and then use the steel wool. I was going to start squeegeeing without telling you. Alright, so it's scrubbed clean now. The last step, squeegee, just remove the water, dry the edges with your towel, and if there's any little touch-ups that you missed, any little bits that just got missed, I always have a dry piece of steel wool in my pocket. So with the dry piece, I'm not re-wetting the window and making myself work harder than I need to. So we'll do the squeegee now. Okay, that is pretty clean, but there are a few little marks that I missed, and so that's when you get the dry piece out. Okay, it looks beautiful. Now this one's even dirtier than the last one, so I'll give you a chance to see me go through the whole process again without pausing so much. The reason I'm talking quietly is because the customer here is in a meeting and I'm not supposed to disturb him, so I'm doing my best to not make any sound. Here we go. Now I'll show you the scraper in more detail. I pulled the scraper apart in the previous segment. This time I'll do the same with the washer. It's really just two bits. You've got the handle and what's called the glove. And of course, these will last a while, but over time you need to replace them. Same goes with scraper blades. Same goes with steel wool. But if you're efficient, if you take care of things, you'll be amazed how long they last. You can use both sides of the scraper blade too. Turn it around if one side has lost its sharpness a bit. You don't have to do the fancy super swirl. You can just do a straight stroke with the squeegee, either vertically or horizontally. If it's hot, if the sun is on the window, horizontal is a good idea, because then you're keeping the lower part that you're about to squeegee wet. That's a little tip. Okay, I've got a few more windows to do on the outside, and then I'll see you inside. Now, I haven't gone inside yet, except to unwind all these windows, because something to keep in mind when it comes to this style of window, which is an awning window, or what some people call a wind-out window, is that there's a lot of spider webs that you find all along the, the sides, inside, in between. You can't see them unless you open it up. There are just always spider webs there, especially out of a place like this, out in Mother Nature. So this is, you can clean the spider webs off from the inside, but you can see it better from the outside. So we're going to do that now. It is a bit hard at the top because there's not much space. At the bottom, where it's further out from the wall, you've got plenty of room to work. Okay, so I'll go do all the others and I'll see you inside. Okay, finally made it inside. So that window is still wound open, so I'm going to start cleaning more of those spider webs all along the edges with my very wet towel. It's actually a good idea to do it from both sides in a situation like this. Do this wiping the spider webs off the edges on both sides, because you do a much better job that way. What is also handy is a little screwdriver. Where have I put my little screwdriver? Oh, here it is. So that's handy. That helps you get into the little nooks and crannies. Now, sliding windows are famous for their tracks, and it can be a lot of work cleaning the tracks of sliding windows. With awning windows, you don't have the tracks, but you've got all the sides of the frame. Okay, now I'm just going to clean the window as normal. To do that, I'm going to wind it in, wind it back in. Now, to clean the inside, you probably don't need the scraper, don't need that. The steel wool is probably all I need. Remembering that it's fine grade steel wool. It must be fine or super fine, either one. You're obviously not going to use coarse grade or medium grade steel wool on glass because it will obviously scratch it, but steel wool, to the surprise of a lot of people, if it's fine grade, does not scratch glass. It is really the secret weapon of cleaning windows. I would say it's the secret weapon. Cover the whole surface, and then it's time to squeegee. It helps to dry the edges first. You might need to hold the blind up out of the way. Get your dry towel out and dry everything up. Wind it back out so you can get all the surfaces nice and dry and there's no sort of drops of water. Now, having done that, there's actually still some marks on the window, and that's why it's useful to have a bit of, as I mentioned earlier, a dry piece of steel wool, because I really should be able to quite easily get those remaining marks off. There may be one or two outside. It's only when you clean both sides that you can clearly see any remaining marks that you just overlooked, or that didn't stand out obviously in that first process of cleaning the window. In this case I may not have scrubbed hard enough with the steel wool because there were still quite a few marks left. And there are a few outside also. I will go back outside. When I'm done on the inside, I'll just touch those up. Okay, I mean that window is 99.9% clean, maybe one or two little marks on the outside, one or two on the inside. Apart from that, there is still the screen to clean over here. I just clean it with a wet towel. So this screen is now very clean. I didn't need to use a lot of water. I just needed one wet towel, and it's ready to go back on the window. But I'm just going to leave it off for a moment so that when I go back outside to touch up the marks on the outside, I can see them better. But otherwise, I've shown you a lot. I've shown you how to clean very dirty awning windows using all the tools that you're going to need. You know, your washer, your scraper, your steel wool, your squeegee, your towel. And I've shown you how to clean the screens. So thank you for watching this video, and there's plenty more where this came from. So please give me some feedback anytime. Oh, and one more thing. After you've finished cleaning the windows, just enjoy the view.